Hi, my friends. I'm so glad you could join me. This is Grandy from Storytime with Grandy. And today we're going to read a very special book about how you and I and everyone on this planet can be good to our oceans. And that's a very, very important thing. So there'll be a few things in this book that I'm going to stop and explain to you in case you don't understand it. So let's get started. The name of this book is Finn and the Coral Crusaders, and it's written and illustrated by Ross Walker. And now there's a quote in this book, and it says, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." And the gentleman who said that is named Robert Swan. And what that means, my friends, is that you can't just think that it's someone else's job to be kind to our planet and to be kind to our oceans. It is our job, yours and mine, and we have to take responsibility for it. So we have to be careful what we do when we go outside. We don't litter. We don't leave things for someone else to pick up when we're outside. And that in the ocean, we're kind also. And we don't put anything plastic in the ocean that would dissolve and harm the fish. You can do floats and things like that because you're going to take them out of the water. But anytime you have something like a paper bag, you see a plastic bag go flying in the water, please, if you can't get it, ask your mom or your dad to retrieve it and take it out of the water. So let's see right now what Finn looks like. I know you're going to want to see this. And this is Finn of the story Finn and the Crusaders. Let's see what he has to say. "Hey, Papa." "Yes, Finn." "Want to play hide and seek?" "Well, look around you, Finn. Where would you hide?" "Where would you hide if you were there?" "When I was your age, my friends from the cold waters way down south used to tell me about the massive kelp forests that grew from the very bottom of the sea floor to the giant waves on the surface. We used to hide in those giant kelp forests and then dart away when we were about to be caught." "Where's the kelp now, Papa?" "Well, some say that because the water is now warmer, the kelp has died. Others say the water is just too murky for the sun to help it grow." "Well, what do you think about it, Papa?" Finn asked his father, Gil. With a swish of his tail, Gil replied, "I think it's because some men harvested too much kelp for themselves." And by the word harvested, he means they took the kelp from the ocean for themselves. So let's see what happens when someone does that. "Papa?" "Yes, Finn, I'm hungry." "Me too," he sighed. "When I was your age, there was plenty to eat." "Really?" Finn's voice was full of surprise. "What happened, Papa?" "Overfishing, little one." And by overfishing, they mean too much fishing. Gil continued, "At first, man caught only enough food to feed his family. but most of us were too smart for a worm and a hook. And you know when you're fishing, you take a little worm and you put it on the hook? Well, Gil is saying that the fish were too smart for that, so they swam away and they didn't bite it, so they weren't caught. But then came their boats, longline fishing, drag nets, super trawlers, and worst of all, blasting. Blasting? Finn's tail shook. Gil looked to the surface sadly. We didn't stand a chance, son. We all lost a lot of friends and family. The look on Finn's face said it all. Papa? Yes, Finn? Where will we sleep tonight if there isn't any kelp? We'll find somewhere safe, Finn. Perhaps we'll be lucky enough to find shelter in some coral. Ooh. Papa, what's coral? Finn asked. Coral is a bunch of tiny hard-shelled creatures working together to make colorful shapes and different sizes. Gil smiled. It's like an underwater rainbow. And here's a little look at what an underwater rainbow of coral would look like, my friends. Finn was excited to meet new friends in this underwater paradise. But after hours of swimming around, Finn's enthusiasm kind of went away. Why isn't there more coral around, Papa? It sounds so pretty. Well, care to take a guess there, son? Finn thought quietly for a moment. Well, Papa, I've seen men build huge metal bridges, big resorts, giant harbors, and messy oil rigs out into the sea. This must have broken the coral. Gil nodded at his son's words and added, Wild storms also smash against the reefs, and warm waters bleach the coral white until it dies and breaks apart. And here's a picture of what the stormy waves would look like, bashing into the coral and breaking the coral up. Then people dive deep into the ocean and fill their bags with the fragile stolen coral. Can you think of anything else, Finn? Finn thought to himself, would all the plastic and pollution in the water affect the coral too? Top of the school, Finn. You are so smart, Gil said proudly. Thanks, Papa, but look! Up ahead they saw a green sea turtle struggling to swim with a plastic bag tangled around its neck. The turtle's flippers thrashed as the plastic bag pulled tighter. Let's see what they're going to do to help save this turtle. Speedily, Finn and Gil nibbled through the plastic, chewing and tearing and gnawing and gnashing until finally the turtle was set free. He gave the two fish a gentle sweep of his flipper in thanks and glided gracefully on his way. Gil then looked to his son. Well done, Finn. You are very brave and kind for helping that turtle. And as you can see, plastic trash is bad news, and not just for the coral. After a bit more swimming, Finn and Gil stumbled upon some coral. But it certainly did not look anything like a rainbow. In fact, only fragments of coral were pale white in color. "Papa, this coral is a bit strange," Finn said, and swam forward for a closer look. A new fish then swam up to them and with a polite hello, introduced himself. "Nice to meet you. My name is Batman. Batman." Together they found enough food to satisfy their appetite. With bellies full and good company, the trio enjoyed a well-earned sleep. "Hey, Papa, what do you call a fish with a hairstyle that's short on top and long in the back?" "I don't know, Finn." "A mullet." "Go back to sleep, Finn," Gil said. And here is a picture of the three of them sleeping. Aren't they cute? As the rays of the morning sun beamed through the water onto the tiny trio, they were awakened by a loud splosh. They heard strange men talking above the surface, and sediment began to cloud the water. "Quick, boys, hide! It's men dumping rubbish." Oh no. Finn swam out of his hiding place to investigate. "Wait, Papa! I don't think it's trash." "Finn, get back inside." Let's see what's happening. But it was too late. Finn had already begun swimming in and out of the portholes in the second stone block. Papa was about to race after him when Batman blocked his path. "Look, Papa, here's more blocks, and they are all the same shape." Sure enough, what had appeared to be rubbish was actually carefully crafted balls of concrete. The fish carefully watched as a man reached into the portholes to plant fragments of fresh, live, colorful coral. "Look, Papa, the men are doing something good, something really good." The school of three watched as men unloaded even more blocks, planted more coral, and put up a sign. Let's see what sign they put up. What does the sign say, Papa? "Conservation Park." And before you ask, it means that this area is a safe, protected place for all sea creatures. And now we see a beautiful picture of all the sea creatures swimming around the blocks in which the men have planted some coral. A grin spread on little Finn's face as he realized these stones would be a safe home for fresh coral to grow into a beautiful new reef. With a little help from people like the Coral Crusaders, the oceans can be beautiful again. And that's the end of that story. And I hope you listened carefully about how we can help make sure that the coral lives and is beautiful in color, not white and going to die. If we take care of our oceans, you will be able to see beautiful coral reefs. And some of you will probably do some skin diving when you get older, and then you really will be able to see how beautiful a coral reef is up close. I hope you enjoyed this story. And once again, Grandy says, be safe, take care, and I love you.